Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Prince Harry raps Fresh Prince, says he didn't walk away. Prince Harry, who decamped from England to Southern California last year, rapped the theme song to the 1990s sitcom The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air during a late-night talk show interview in which he said he didn't walk away from his royal duties. During an appearance on the CBC television networks, The Late Late Show with James Corden, that aired early Friday, Harry said he decided to step away from his work as a frontline member of the royal family to protect his wife and son and his mental health. "It was stepping back rather than stepping down," he told Corden. "It was a really difficult environment, which I think a lot of people saw, so I did what any father or husband would do and thought, how do I get my family out here? But we never walk away, and as far as I'm concerned, whatever decisions are made on that side, I will never walk away." The appearance marked Harry's first interview since his grandmother Queen Elizabeth II stripped the prince and his wife, the former actress Meghan Markle, of their remaining royal duties earlier this month. Carden's group trumpeted Oprah Winfrey, whose interview with the couple is scheduled to be aired on March 7. During the segment, Carden and the prince toured Southern California on an open-top bus, at one point arriving outside the mansion where the opening sequence of Will Smith's Fresh Prince was filmed. "If it was good enough for the Fresh Prince, it's good enough for a real prince," Corden says, walking up the drive. "Do you remember the song? Now this is the story, all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. Now take a minute," Harry raps before turning to Corden for help. "And sit right there. I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called Carden's Terms Inn." Bel-Air, Harry finishes off the song. The royal couple actually live near the Bel-Air in Santa Barbara County. It's final. Harry and Meghan won't return as working royals. Buckingham Palace confirmed that Prince Harry and his wife Meghan will not be returning to royal duties, and Harry will give up his honorary military titles, a decision that makes formal and final the couple's split from the royal family. When Harry and Meghan stepped away from full-time royal life in March 2020, unhappy at media scrutiny and the scriptures of their roles, it was agreed that situation would be reviewed after a year. Now it has, and the palace said in a statement that the couple, also known as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, have verified they will not be returning as working members of the royal family. It said Queen Elizabeth II had spoken to 36-year-old Harry and confirmed in stepping away from the work of the royal family, it is not possible to continue with the responsibilities and duties that come with a life of public service. The palace said Harry's appointment as Captain General of the Royal Marines and titles with other military groups would revert to the Queen before being distributed to other members of the family. Harry served in the British Army for a decade, including on the front line of Afghanistan, and retains a close bond with the military. He founded the Invictus Game competition for wounded troops, which first was held in 2014 at London's Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. He will also have to relinquish positions as patron of the Rugby Football Union, the Rugby Football League, and the London Marathon Charitable Trust. Meghan, 39, will be stripped of her role as patron of Britain's National Theatre and the Association of Commonwealth Universities. While all are saddened by their decision, the Duke and Duchess remain much-loved members of the family, the palace statement said. American actress Meghan Markle, a former star of the TV legal drama Suits, married the Queen's grandson Harry at Windsor Castle in May 2018. Their son Archie was born a year later. In early 2020, Meghan and Harry announced they were quitting royal duties and moving to North America, citing what they said were the unbearable intrusions and racist attitudes of the British media toward the Duchess, who identifies as biracial. The couple agreed to no longer use the title Royal Highness or receive public funds for their work, although it was unclear at the time if those decisions would stand. They retained their titles of Duke and Duchess, and Harry is still sixth in line to the British throne. Harry and Meghan now live in Santa Barbara, California, and are expecting their second child. The couple recently announced they would speak to Oprah Winfrey for a TV special to be broadcast next month. They continue to have a tense relationship with sections of the British media. Earlier this month, Meghan won a legal victory in a lawsuit against the publisher of the Mail on Sunday when a British judge ruled the newspaper invaded her privacy by publishing part of a letter she wrote to her estranded father. News of their break with the palace comes as Harry's grandfather, 99-year-old Prince Philip, is in a London hospital where he was admitted on Tuesday after feeling unwell. A spokesperson from the couple hit back at suggestions that Meghan and Harry were not devoted to duties. As evidenced by their work over the past year, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex remain committed to their duty and service to the UK and around the world, and have offered their continued support to the organizations they have represented regardless of official role, the spokesperson said in a statement. We can all live a life of service. Service is universal. Bartlett calls for a fair and united approach to COVID control globally. Amid mounting criticism internationally that the hoarding of COVID-19 vaccines by richer countries threaten the economic recovery of not only tourism-dependent states, but the entire global economy, Jamaica's Minister of Tourism, Edmund Bartlett, has made a global call for a fair and united approach to the worldwide distribution of the vaccines. Bartlett expressed his concerns while speaking on Wednesday during the latest installment of the Edmund Bartlett Lecture Series, hosted virtually by the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center. The highly anticipated session was held under the theme Restarting Economies Through Tourism, Vaccine Politics, Global Priorities and Destination Realities. Last week, during a speech to a virtual G7 meeting, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson pledged to donate most of the United Kingdom's surplus vaccine supply to poorer countries. Bartlett lamented that there is great disparity in the global distribution of vaccine, even as he welcomed the global rollout of the precious dosages. The picture that is emerging is that advanced countries appear to be largely rejecting a united approach in favor of reinforcement inequalities on the basis of national citizenship, said Bartlett. While the US and most other wealthy nations have begun to intensely vaccine their citizens against COVID-19, generally, developing countries, home to billions of people, have yet to even receive vaccine supplies. In fact, nearly 130 countries have not yet delivered a single dose of vaccine to their combined population of 2.5 billion people. The current inequitable distribution of vaccines also means a greater risk of mutations that defy existing vaccines, he added. Bartlett maintained that the implications of this approach are dire. He said with more than 45 billion confirmed cases and more than 1 million deaths, countries and territories throughout the Americas, particularly the poorest among them, are experiencing an unprecedented health, economic, and social crisis. Tourism-dependent economies have lost 12% of their GDP compared to global economic contraction of 4.4%. Tourism export revenues were down globally between US 910 billion to US 1.2 trillion in 2020. Between 100 to 120 million jobs in travel and tourism were sacrificed in 2020, added Bartlett. He stated that tourism is the engine of growth in the Caribbean, and its prolonged disruption spells catastrophe. Our economies are badly bleeding and need to be thrown a lifeline. The current situation facing these economies, as well as others across the world's developing regions, can only be described as humanitarian crisis, Bartlett expressed. In positing a solution to the problem, he said, Access to vaccination among these countries need to be improved rapidly. We cannot afford to politicize responses to the crisis at hand. I am thus using this opportunity to urge that we prioritize tourism-dependent economies for vaccination. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.